so I'd like to turn it over to our presenters. And first we have Chief Bob Oakes from Sonoma County and Tom Schwedhelm, the police chief from the city of Santa Rosa, as well as Jennifer Murray, the Deputy County Administrator for Sonoma County, to talk about local efforts in Sonoma. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan, and good morning. Very happy to be here with you today. We recognize that our presentation doesn't fit nicely into one of the categories that have been set up. We won't be speaking to you about one particular program as much as our overall approach to realignment. And as you all know, realignment did not happen in a vacuum. We'll be talking about it in context. And Sonoma County's story on realignment started prior to realignment, so Jennifer will discuss some of our history. I'll talk about our approach to realignment, and Chief Schwedhelm then will talk about how law enforcement has coordinated their approach with our community corrections partnership. So, Jennifer?
Yes, good morning. So you know a little bit about us. Sonoma County is located about 65 miles north of San Francisco. Our population is almost 500,000. We have 9 incorporated cities, of which Santa Rosa, our county seat, is the largest, and I think its population is about 170,000, Tom? Our 4 county departments, which include the Sheriff's Office, Probation Department, District Attorney, and Public Defender, receive approximately $208 million annually in funding through the county's general fund and criminal justice realignment together. Their operations are supported by over 1,000 full-time employees. Our Sheriff's Department's operating 2 detention facilities, and this year the total annual bookings are expected to reach about 15,000. And the current average daily population in our jails is about 1,100 offenders, and unfortunately growing. In early 2006, we were fast approaching maximum capacity at our 2 detention facilities. And at the time, we were nearing almost 20,000 annual bookings. And an updated jail bed forecast was predicting we would need to add over 13,000 beds to our capacity to replace an aging facility in order to meet our needs by the year 2025. This was a very sobering picture, and you can imagine the Board of Supervisors was not enthralled with the idea of spending upwards of $300 million to build new detention facilities. This information drove us to study our criminal justice system to see if we were making full use of jail alternative programs and if efficiencies could be gained. While our funds were and still are limited, Sonoma County had some assets that contributed significantly to our justice system study process. There was a willingness to work together and a shared vision for serving our community needs. We had an organizational culture willing to consider new approaches and programs, and an openness to improvement. There was a shared belief in the value of mental health services. We had a well-developed data system that was integrated with the courts that informed our understanding. And we also had an understanding that building community support was important for whatever recommendations may come out of the study. We knew we needed assistance in our evaluation, so a nationally recognized consultant was retained. He guided our development of a collaborative process which invited key stakeholders to play appropriate roles in the process. It was important that to the CAO at the time that our process be safe in terms of how performance deficiencies might be identified and addressed. We were not looking to place blame or point fingers, but to create a setting and an environment which identified solutions and a path to improve outcomes for the system as a whole. We also wanted a process that continued to build a shared vision for the future. Key in achieving this was our consultant's recommendation that we hold a day-long symposium with our justice partners near the end of the first phase of the study to share performance data and to preview recommendations for system improvement. The symposium took place near the end of our first phase of work, and we had over 80 stakeholders, including representatives of all the county justice departments, the courts, local law enforcement agencies, a number of elected officials, members of the defense bar, and folks from our Health and Human Services Department participating. This was the first time that Justice Partners had been convened in such a setting to look at the system. We had an entire year's worth of data about our population, who was in the jail, how many times had they been arrested prior, what were their FTA rates, what was happening to them in terms of each step in the adjudication process. It was very powerful. This was an incredible tool for continuing to build a shared sense of vision and for building understanding and support for the recommendations that the consultant presented to us. Our study resulted in some key recommendations and further focused us to take a systems approach to the justice system, considering a full range of detention alternative programs to reduce recidivism while still valuing and protecting public safety. The primary system recommendations we've been working to implement since the study was concluded in early 2010 have been to establish a pretrial services program, establish an early case resolution court, expand sentencing alternatives through a day reporting center and a community corrections center, and to assign program resources based upon offender risk. These have provided a strong foundation for improving our system and which continue to guide us.